Hey guys, One Punch HD here today to give you a review for One Piece chapter 813 entitled The Tea Party Invitation. This chapter was a pretty simple and straightforward chapter, but it was a necessary one. It served to bridge the final piece of the gap in the flashback that we've been having retold to us to find out why Sanji is no longer with the crew and to see what transpired to take him from finding out that he was scheduled to be married to the point where he actually departed from the crew and set off on his own mission. The chapter starts off with the reactions from the crew to finding out that Sanji's going to get married. Everybody is obviously in shock, and we see a picture of the invitation that Capone is holding up. Sanji drops his cigarette. He's clearly in the most shock of anyone at all. And Brook seems to know something. He says he gets a chill down his spine at the name Vinsmoke. He says, no, it can't be. So clearly Brook is familiar with this family, and he may be the one who lets us know what actually is going on with Sanji when we return to real time, hopefully in the next chapter. Sanji's cigarette, this is a pretty interesting thing actually. Sanji's cigarette catches fire to the floor, and this freaks Capone out very much, so it may play a part in how they have to fight him or defeat him at some point in the future, that if you beat him from the inside out, if you set his castle on fire, or if you break down the walls from the inside, that's how you can actually most easily defeat him. So we'll have to see how that plays out when the crew actually ends up fighting with him down the road. We then get a short flashback from Nami where she remembers Sanji telling them that he was from the North Blue when they were dealing with Jaya and Usatsuki Norland and his story about the book of all of his lies. It appears that this is the first time that Brook heard about Sanji being from the North Blue, because he's actually shocked that Sanji came from the North Blue and made it to East Blue, because North Blue and East Blue are separated by the Red Line. So in order to get from the North Blue to the East Blue, you have to go over the Red Line, and this is obviously an extremely non-trivial voyage to undertake. So no average family could undertake a relocation like this, and this is something that is clearly going to play an important part in the reveal of Sanji's backstory as we go forward. The crew then realizes that if Sanji gets married to a member of Big Mom's family, they will de facto become part of her underlings. But Sanji is clearly not impressed by this, and he calls out Capone and tells him that Luffy is not a man who will be an underling of anyone else. Luffy is the man who will become the Pirate King. And this scene is eerily similar to the one that Zoro had in Thriller Bark when he said the exact same thing. So I think this is setting up for some huge character development for Sanji in this coming arc and the entire year of Sanji, where he shows that he also is willing to put everything on the line, up to and including his own life, in order to protect Luffy's dream and to help him become the Pirate King. Although he refuses to take up Big Mom's invitation, Capone seems unfazed by this and tells him that Sanji is actually the one who's under a little bit of a misunderstanding himself, because Capone didn't actually ask Sanji whether or not he wanted to attend. He merely let him know that he was coming, and everybody in the New World, everybody in the entire world knows that when Big Mom invites you to a tea party, you go to the tea party. In order to show Sanji that he's serious, Capone then starts to do crazy things with the inside of his body. He starts warping the walls, making cannons appear out of nowhere. He kind of wraps this tentacle around Sanji. Nami starts sinking into the floor. Chopper's freaking out. And he basically wants to demonstrate to the Straw Hats that when they're inside of his world, he is the god in that verse, and they need to obey what he says because he could kill them at any time. Then we get a little bit of a info dump from the guy who captured Nami and Chopper in the last chapter, and this guy's pretty weird looking. He has a head tattoo, he has a hand tattoo, he appears to have giant hands, and he has 2 giant guns. And his name is Fire Tank Pirates Advisor Monster Gun Vito. And this guy is probably, being the advisor, he's probably playing the consigliere role to Capone in their mafia organization structure. And he informs Sanji and the others that there are 2 things that Big Mom does not like in the world. She hates bitter treats and tea party no-shows. And even demons and devils themselves will come to Big Mom's tea parties when they are invited. Everyone goes to Big Mom's tea party when she invites them. Vito then leans in, and Sanji looks very mad, but Vito whispers something in his ear that clearly changes Sanji's mood towards everything that has gone on. He now realizes that he has no ability to get out of this, and he's going to have to go through with this, face his past, and figure these things out without running away. Sanji questions Capone as to how he found out whatever secret Vito told him, and Capone tells him his boss is Big Mom, one of the Yonko, so of course he has access to ridiculous information that would make anyone fearful. Capone tells Sanji that Big Mom is one of the emperors of the pirate world herself. Big Mom is our boss. If she tells you to die, you die. Do everything she tells you as if your life depends on it. You better at least be prepared to do that much if you don't want to end up as anyone's underling. And we see another sort of weird angle look at Big Mom's face. We still haven't gotten a very good look at her. We've seen a couple weird angles like this, so hopefully sooner than later we get a full thing and we actually know exactly what she looks like. Sanji then asks for pen and paper, and he scribbles down a note for the crew. He goes over to Nami and slips it in the chain that she's being used to tie her up. And he's thinking some things. He says, "Give this to Luffy and the others." And he says, "Please believe in me. It was not my intent to keep things hidden from you, my friends." Then he gives them one last long look, realizes that there's somebody powerful now outside and that it's probably one of the minks who will be able to aid them, and then he throws them out of Capone and back into the real world, where they immediately spring back to full size. Capone's crew is really mad that Sanji did this, and they're about to retaliate against him, but he's already grabbed one of their guns and is now holding Caesar captive, and he says, "You guys can't kill me, can you? In fact, you've been told to treat me like a delicate freaking flower. I'm betting you won't even cuff me. Remember, my wanted poster says only alive. If you kill me, someone is going to be very displeased. The person who insured my wanted poster says what it does, and the person who finalized my marriage are the one and the same." Sanji then continues, "Don't move. Did I not make myself clear? Just who do you think I have at my back? I said I'll do it. I'll go meet him and settle things. So don't you dare lay a finger on my friends." At this, Capone tells everybody in his crew to stay put. They're confused as to why he would say this, but he lets them know that right now outside they're face to face with a monster, and Nekozaimon is just towering over him with an extremely unhappy look on his face. And Capone thinks, what the hell is with this cat? The reason that Nekozaimon is over here looking into things is because he has discovered Peckham's out cold, covered in blood, and he wants to know if this guy's the one that's responsible for it. Capone tries to lie to him and tell him that he's one of Peckham's friends and that Jack's crew members were the ones that attacked him, but instantly, by the fact that Nami tries to get Sanji to come back with him from inside of Capone, Nekozaimon is a bit confused and understands that this guy is probably not to be trusted. Sanji then tells her that this is his problem and he promises he'll be back. Tell everyone he said hi, with a fake smile on his face. Then Nami, Chopper, and Brook all react in shock to what he just said, right as Capone transforms with Castle Tank into a giant pair of tractor tires and speeds off into the distance. The minks are ready to go after him and bring Sanji back to safety, but Brook stops them and says that it's useless because even if you caught up, he has no intention of returning. And then we see the note that he wrote. It says, "To my buds, there's this chick I gotta see real quick. I'll be back soon. I promise. Sanji." And we have an all too sudden parting of the crew. So that's the chapter for this week, One Piece chapter 813. And it was really just a finishing up the details of what happened between Capone taking Sanji hostage and him actually being taken away to Big Mom's tea party. We found out that it is because of Sanji's history that his poster says "wanted only alive," and we also found out that Sanji basically knew the things that were going on in his past but assumed that they would never catch up to him and he would never have to face them. But now that everything has come to light, he realizes that he can't run away anymore and he has to face these things head on right now. The next chapter will probably have us return to real time with the crew as they go towards the jungle and Nekozymon's fortress. We'll probably get Luffy's resolution as to how he wants to handle this. I'm sure that he's going to decide to go after Sanji, go to Big Mom's tea party, and start mayhem like he always does. I'm also assuming that Peckham's is probably still on Zou. He's probably being treated and staying with Nekozymon because it seemed that the two were pretty close in this chapter. Law is indebted to Luffy for being the one to help him take down Doflamingo, so I assume that his crew is going to come along for the ride too. And we probably won't have many more chapters on Zou. We'll probably have a couple more chapters to find out what the other half of the story is with the night people on Zou, the night minks. And then we'll probably get some sort of history where we find out what the historical importance of Zou is, maybe get a poneglyph, maybe Jinbei will meet up with the crew, something like that will happen. But sooner than later, it seems like the crew is going to have to get out of there, find out where Big Mom is, go to her tea party, and help Sanji so that he can rejoin them on their voyage. So, again, it was a pretty exciting, it was a great chapter this week, but it was more just finishing up all of the bombshells that had been dropped on us in the last couple weeks. And I'll be looking forward to next week. So that's all that I have for you for this week for One Piece chapter 813. Please like, comment, and subscribe as always if you enjoyed this video and you want more awesome theory, discussion, and review videos like this to come to you. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.